4 biggest and worst USAID scandals in history. To build the case for taking down the U.S. Agency for International Development, the White House has highlighted some of the most egregious-sounding diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs the U.S. has funded abroad, such as an LGBT empowerment program in Serbia. It has also pointed to USAID's controversial medical research in Wuhan. Foreign aid often is connected to wars overseas. The top 5 recipients of U.S. aid were Israel, Egypt, the former South Vietnam, Afghanistan, and South Korea. There's a long history of USAID projects supporting bad actors, fostering anti-American resentment, building an unhealthy dependence on foreign money, and doing more harm than good. Here are some of the most infamous examples. Number 4. Funding drug production in Afghanistan, which cost $1.46 billion. Opium was such a large part of the poor and war-torn country's economy. The fighting between the Taliban and the U.S.-backed Afghan Republic often looked more like a turf war between rival narco gangs, with the U.S. military protecting some opium fields and bombing others. USAID tried to change this state of affairs, spending $1.46 billion on alternative development programs from 2002 to 2017. The goal was to encourage farmers to move away from opium by providing fertilizers, equipment, and other assistance for non-opium farming. But some of that money inadvertently supported poppy production. The U.S. Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction reported in 2018. In other words, Afghan farmers were happy to take USAID's help while continuing to grow opium. For example, opium cultivation increased by 119% in the Kandahar food zone between 2013 and 2015, after USAID helped expand the irrigation systems there. Number 3. Child sex abuse scandals in Africa worth $29.6 million. A USAID-funded charity in Kenya allegedly covered up rampant sex abuse of children, and USAID funded a second charity in the Central African Republic a month after a major sex abuse scandal broke. The Children of God Relief Institute, which ran an orphanage for Kenyan children, affected by AIDS and similar projects, received high praise from the U.S. government. From 2013 onward, USAID gave the institute $29.3 million. In 2021, a whistleblower told USAID that the charity was harboring a dark secret. USAID's Inspector General soon determined that Children of God Relief Institute officials knew or should have known of multiple incidents of child sex abuse but failed to take effective remedial measures to address the abuse. In some cases, the victims were forced to apologize for provoking their own abuse. Number 2. A medical supply boondoggle worth $9.5 billion. USAID promised that the Global Health Supply Chain Program would almost pay for itself. The multi-billion-dollar investment, the largest in USAID history, was supposed to improve target countries' ability to obtain medical supplies so much that USAID would never have to fund something like it again. Spoiler alert. That didn't happen. An investigative report by the Bureau for Investigative Journalism, a British nonprofit, and DVEX, a magazine that covers the international aid sector, revealed just how bad the situation was. We had procurement analysts who were just making it up, a former Comonix employee told the reporters. We had trashed data. And then we had people who didn't understand how humanitarian aid cargo worked. The investigation also found 41 people had been arrested, and 39 more indicted for fraud related to the project. The government overpaid and underdelivered. In 2017, 3 years into the project, only 7% of shipments were completed on time in full.
In 1969, President Richard Nixon decided to
And number 1, covert warfare during the Cold War. USAID was founded in 1961, just as Washington was getting more heavily involved in Vietnam. The Kennedy administration's special group quickly tasked USAID to coordinate economic assistance programs with military civic action programs. More bluntly, the agency worked hand in glove with the CIA's proxy wars. In Laos, one of Vietnam's neighbors, USAID helped the CIA arm and feed ethnic Hmong guerrillas fighting communist forces, and, sometimes, to compel the Hmong to do that fighting. Since USAID decided where the rice was dropped, the Hmong had no choice but to stand and fight. It is also believed that USAID was helping Hmong militiamen and other warlords smuggle opium. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this video informative. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content.